of your WA2. Okay, so most of you are able to analyze this question quite correctly to show the two perspective. Most of you are able to say that, first part you must talk about more damage, and then the second part you must talk about more good. Okay, so the question asks, is this true? Then I must answer directly. This can be true, as tourism does more damage, causes damage. Okay, and then many of you can write the second paragraph. This can be not true or false, as tourism causes good as well. Okay, now the problem, so many of you are able to look at your notes and know that this is about impacts. Okay, so you know that the damage is about negative impacts and the good is about the positive impact. The problem we have over here is that many of you forgot to look at the part on environment of the destination. Okay, so that means I cannot talk about economic impacts because it is not about the environment. I cannot talk about social cultural impacts because it's not about the environment. I can only talk about the environmental impacts, which is these four, okay, along with these two at the back. All right, and they say it's the environment of the destination countries. Okay, so it must affect the destination specifically, not like in general around the whole world or something. So which is why global climate change, unless you can link it to specifically how it affects the environment of the destination country, I would not use this impact. Okay, because the question is about environment of the destination country. This one is about the whole world. Okay, so it's not quite useful unless you're able to explain how it affects the whole world. Okay, now so as a result, many of you can explain very well economic impacts, social cultural impacts, but because you have not answered the question, I'm unable to give you the marks. Okay, now let's take a look. Good, there's only conservation of natural environment. Okay, so this is the one that I can use. Okay, so then as I can mention here lah. All right, what's the good? One such good is the conservation of natural environment, as we have copied from here. Okay, I'm identifying the impact that we learn in the content using the terms we have used in the content. All right, so I give details how does this happen, because of tourism. So because of tourism, tourists may be attracted to a place because of its natural beauty and ecological value. Hence, to attract more tourists, local governments may invest resources to conserve them, and the income earned may be used to fund conservation, and they protect them from damages. Now, why is this a good thing? Okay, so let me start explaining. Instead of this is positive, I use the question good. Okay, so this is good. So tourism, this shows that tourism causes good for the environment of destination countries because, okay, so this one I'm copying the question to signal that I'm starting to explain. Okay, because as a result of all these things, locals can continue to have access to natural resources and natural environment can be sustained for subsequent generations. So I need to provide examples because the question asked me to explain using relevant examples. Okay, so for example, all right, you can use whatever you know. Okay, so what I know about conservation environment is actually what's that place? Kenya. All right, so the safaris in Kenya, okay, attracts a lot of tourists due to as it showcases exotic animals such as lions and giraffes. Okay, as a result, the government is encouraged to the government preserves it, environment and habitat, so as to continue to attract tourists. Okay, Now there's only one benefit we know, then the other one is what's the damage. Alright, so if this explained properly, it's L2 5 marks or 6 marks. Okay, then I must need to use the other damages. Alright, so damages I need to show there's more, so I need to talk about 2. Okay, so I can choose any 2. Maybe I'll choose destruction of habitat. Alright, okay, so one such damage is the destruction of habitats. Okay, I can tweak it to answer the question directly. Okay, like in the destination countries. Okay, maybe I should do that for the other paragraph as well. Okay, conservation of natural environment in the destination countries. That will answer the question more directly. Alright, so when tourists visit a place, they can be responsible. Those of you who tried this more or less brought up these key points. Okay, but some of you just said this will be destroyed. Okay, so some of you just said flora and fauna will be trampled, but the bigger problem is that the habitats are destroyed. Okay, so why is the habitats destroyed must be mentioned, because this is where the long-term effect is here. Okay, so this is damaging because, okay, so it's the same as here lah. I can copy this sentence also. Okay, habitats are destroyed. Okay, so if you know of any example, please bring it up. Place. Alright, so for example, Maya Bay, Thailand was overrun by tourists due to the high number of tourist boats visiting the place. The bay sharks are scared to nest there and no longer visit Maya Bay. Okay, the anchors from the boats also destroyed the corals in the area. I need to show how habitat is destroyed. So I need to talk about don't want to come here anymore, and you know how they are being destroyed. Okay, so this is where I explain L2 5 marks or 6 marks. Alright, then I can bring in another damage. Okay, another damage caused by tourism is what? Up to you which one you want to choose. Okay, so some of you want to choose increased congestion, some of you want to use littering, some of you want to use vandalism. I'll leave it to you. Okay, now some of you attempt to weigh, but some of you just say, oh, there's damage, then full stop. Alright, but you need to compare to show your weighing. So in conclusion, okay, I can say that which should be a better one. I've caught myself in the corner. Which is a better one? Flora, fauna, habitats destroyed. Okay, I'll probably use this more good because it's a longer term effect. Okay, both are long term, just that this can mitigate easily. Okay, so in conclusion, tourism can cause more damage. Okay, in conclusion, statement may not be true. This is because a good that tourism does to the environment can incentivize governments and locals to manage the destination properly, to avoid the damages to begin with. Okay, so I'm saying that yes, although I have mentioned 2 damage and 1 good, the good easily solves the damages. Okay, the good makes them manage it properly such that the damages don't happen. So I'm using causation. Okay, like because A affects B, A is more important. So it's the same idea here, because the good can help them solve the problem mentioned. That's why I can say that it creates more good than harm. Okay, so I hope you have a better understanding how to write your essays properly. Now, many of you are very strategic with your time. You focus on two sides, I think it's fine. Conclusion, you didn't have the time to write. I think at this stage, I think it's okay. But after mid-year, we need to get you more used to it. Okay. Examples, many of you don't know your examples. Please take from whatever you know already. Maybe after your mid-years, then I'll provide more examples for you. Okay. But the bigger problem, many of you, is that some of you just show the explanation, but never tell me what the factor is about, or never show how tourism leads to the impact in the first place. Okay, you just tell me the impacts. You never tell me how tourism lead to it. So, not very clear what it means, which is why you can't get more than L2. Okay, I hope you have better understanding, and make sure you don't make the same mistakes anymore. But I must say I'm very happy because many of you, your essays is a huge improvement. Okay, so keep it up. All right.